Julia, all the eyes are on the big fall in gold prices, but there's been a sell-off in metals across the board. The interesting one, I guess, for us is copper, because people were fairly bullish on the metal. What's going on?
Yeah, so people were bullish on copper because of, obviously there are supply side constraints, so the sort of geological barrier to entry to mining copper has sort of helped constrain those supplies. But obviously with China's economy slowing a little bit more than expected, results for that came out over the weekend, then people are now worried that production increases in copper are going to result in prices continuing to come down.
All right, well, let's split the story into two. Let's concentrate on the demand side first. How significant is China to the copper story?
It's the biggest importer of copper, so it accounts for about a third of world demand. Although they produce a little bit themselves, about 1.5 million out of the 7 million tonnes that they use, they're making that getting that out of the ground for high costs. So they are a big part of the global demand.
And do you think there'll be any improvement in demand from China, or the story will stay soggy for a while, presumably?
Well, that's the idea. I mean, government-wise, has said very clearly that they want growth to slow. There isn't that much to get excited about, that growth is going to sort of go back off the scale again. So it looks like growth will certainly be subdued for some time.
And then on the supply side, quickly, the idea was that the market was fairly rational on the supply side, but there appears to be some ramp-ups going on.
Yes, so this year, according to Wood Mackenzie figures, production is going to increase by 5%, and that's the fastest growth in over a decade. Although Rio had a little bit of a blip in one of their Utah mines recently, overall production this year should increase. So certainly it seems that that miners are investing again in copper, and that might not match up to this sort of demand issue at the moment.
Well, it's all very interesting, because we're hearing that one new segment of the market is private equity that's looking at mining, and one metal in particular it was interested in was copper, because it's not so cyclical. That story may be changing in front of our very eyes. Thank you very much for that update, Julia.